Imagine that you have the opportunity to sit with Satan himself, to reveal the layers of fear, doubt, and negative habits that prevent you from living your best life. This is what Napoleon Hill imagined in his book, The Conquest of Satan. This book was written in 1938, but it was later published. The book presents a strong dialogue between Hill and Satan, where Hill tries to reveal most of the ways Satan, a tool, used to keep people away from success. Through this conversation, we learn how fear and doubt can become, and the absence of a goal is the biggest punishment in our lives. Stay with us until the end, while we discover a practical vision of this book that opens our eyes, and we discover how you can free yourself from the invisible power that hinders you. You will discover strategies that can be used to face your inner demons and strengthen your concentration, and take on your destiny. Welcome to Audiobook channel, which is often associated with Napoleon Hill's most famous work, Think and Increase in Poverty, which is considered, in a broad sense, one of the most influential books on success and self-development. But Overcoming Satan is a completely different type of book. It was written in 1938, during a time when Hill himself was going through major personal conflicts, and the book remained unpublished for more than 70 years because of its exciting nature of debate. Hill's family was in a rush to publish it to the public, fearing the negative reaction because of the urgent and exciting topics of religious debate. So why was the book exciting for debate? In Overcoming Satan, Hill gives an imaginary conversation with Satan in which Satan reveals his ways of controlling people's minds and prevent them from achieving their full potential. This interview is not just a creative literary tool, but a deep acquisition of the mental and emotional power that haunts us in life. Satan points to fear, self-doubt, and seduction, and all other bad habits and beliefs that keep us in control. The conversation with this body of evil aims to reveal this power and show how to overcome it. In the book, Hale believes that most people live their lives without a goal, which allows the external forces represented by Satan to control their fate. Hale argues that people are injured in life without clear goals or directions, and that this injury is what gives the devil the power to control them. Without a specific goal or strong personal control, it is easy to play with people through fear, obstacles, and negative effects. Anna Hill, from this experiment directly after success, thought and increased in wealth, faced several personal ups and downs, including financial problems and a deep sense of belonging to the matter of his life. These internal conflicts led him to the book of Conquering Satan as a way to face these invisible obstacles. Why is this book still relevant today? The topics that Hill deals with, such as fear, doubt, lack of discipline, and lack of understanding in life, are still connected as they were back then. In fact, it can be said that these issues have become more widespread in the world of the fast day, and full of he talks directly about these challenges and presents a plan to control your mind and your life. Hyle's journey adds a layer of origin to the book. He did not only talk about the success of the theory, but also about the experience of failure, self-doubt, and moments of severe uncertainty. This makes his conversation with Satan seem not just symbolic, but rather a deep personality, as if Hyle were to fight his demons, while they call for the same in our lives. In this way, the book is more than just a proof of self-help. It is a call to take a more thorough look at fears, habits, and minds that may hinder you and teach you how to regain control of your destiny. Now, let us dive into one of the most important ideas in Overcoming Satan, which is the concept of the giraffe, regarding what they want and their actions towards those goals. Hill says in his conversation with Satan that the majority of people are the victims. They live the life of the flight mode, interacting with what comes in their way instead of controlling their fate. Satan explains the matter in a great way, that control can be on any mind that is affected. This is you are exposed to external abuse, whether it is through fear, Because they lack discipline and clarity. They wake up every day without a clear goal in their minds, and often their environment, habits, or expectations draw them in different directions. Instead of shaping their lives with activity, they are negatively affected by what is happening around them. That the absence of personal responsibility is what gives the devil his power. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you found yourself in a trap? Perhaps you spent days, weeks, or even months without achieving any real progress towards your goals because you did not have a specific plan. Perhaps social media, television, or other forms of entertainment distract your attention easily from what these external forces allowed you to control your time and energy. The message of Hill here is a call for awakening. If you don't lead your life with an active attitude towards a goal, you may get lost, and in that you give up control. Designed to attract our attention and keep us busy in a negative way. These new forms of creation are like the devil's tools that drive us to a state of being where we consume without thinking, instead of creating or trying to achieve. We can also take the giraffe as a form of camouflage. How many times do we postpone important tasks, convinced that we will do them tomorrow? The truth is that the giraffe does not only short-circuit the time, it is about eating slowly for our abilities. Every day the giraffe is eaten is a day in which we fail to take the right steps towards the life we really want to live. So, how do we stop the giraffe? The answer is simple, but it is strong. The purpose of the giraffe is to have a clear main goal. The person who has a clear goal in life and a goal that works with passion is almost impossible to control by the devil. When you know what you want and are determined to achieve it, and you can't be afraid to be defeated after now, you become an activity that determines your own path instead of being pulled in 1,000 different directions. In the book, Hill confirms the importance of not being enough with a mysterious feeling of what you want, but rather being specific. The clear main goal gives you focus, clear direction, and the ability to make decisions that are in line with what will bring you closer to that goal. Without that, it is easy to fall into a trap, which makes life happen to you instead of making things happen. Satan admits that just having a specific goal, it becomes very difficult to play with it. For this reason, the readers encourage the authors to focus on their passion and to set clear goals and to stick to the path of self-controlling. When you do that, you are no longer exposed to the external force that leads to the injury. The injury is considered one of the most dangerous habits because it happens secretly over time. It is not always clear when we are injured, but the effects can be destructive. The only way to protect yourself from the forces that try to control you, whether it is through fear, doubt, or hesitation, is to have a clear goal and to bear the responsibility of your life. When you know where to go, you stop the struggle and start leading your life toward the success you want. The power of the clear goal. Napoleon Hill strongly believed that the most important weapon you can use in your battle against the giraffe is the presence of a clear main goal. If the giraffe feels lost in the sea without direction, then the presence of a clear goal is like the presence of a compass. It gives you a clear sense of where you are going and what you need to get there. This is the central concept of overcoming Satan, where Hill sees that it is the most effective way to resist the influence of Satan and control over your life. In his conversation with Satan, he stresses on him about what makes people easy to play with. Satan admits that the people who lack a goal are the easiest to control because they have no goal. They allow their environment, fears, and opinions to determine their actions. On the other hand, people who have a clear goal are difficult for Satan to influence them because they know what they want, and they work with an activity towards achieving it. Why is the goal strong? The argument here is deep. The existence of a clear goal in life does not make you a more productive or motivated person, but it also protects you from the negative forces that drive you away from success. Satan himself admits that people who have a clear goal are almost impossible to control because they are focused, organized, and designed. When you know exactly what you want and why you want it, you lose the forces that seem to be driving you. Fear becomes less of a burden because you are more committed to achieving your goals than to being afraid of failure. Let's think about this from the perspective of real life. Now, even one day, the ease of survival is exciting and full of energy when you work towards a goal that you feel passionate about. Whether it is a professional ambition, a personal project, or even a goal for physical fitness, there's something you are striving for that gives you a sense of direction. You wake up with a goal and your actions are consistent with that goal. This is the opposite of being a giraffe, where you live a negative life without a clear goal in the horizon. The main message, the message of hell, is that everyone needs a clear goal to avoid falling into a pit of what are the steps you need to take to achieve them. How to find your clear goal. One of the most famous visions that Hill presents in his book is how to find your clear goal. He suggests that you ask yourself a main question, such as, what do I want more than life? What do I feel a real passion for? What are the natural talents and strengths? How can I contribute to the world in a self-sufficient way? These questions are designed to help you dive deeper into your goals and desires so that you can discover a goal that really inspires you. The matter does not only concern determining a goal for the sake of having a goal, but it also concerns determining something that matches your fundamental values and passion. Hill believes that once you find your clear goal, everything becomes easier. Decisions that he felt were difficult become clearer because you can measure them in return for your goal. If something doesn't match your ultimate goal, it becomes easier to say no to it. If it's an opportunity that brings you closer to your goal, you seek it with enthusiasm. The goal is like a shield against fear. Fear is one of the greatest obstacles used by Satan to keep people away from success. But does it argue that having a clear goal helps you overcome fear because it allows you to focus on something greater? When you are committed to achieving your goal, fear becomes secondary failure compared to your desire for success. Even Satan admits that fear loses its power to those who have a clear goal. This does not mean that fear disappears completely. It is normal for you to feel fear when you leave your private comfort zone. But when you have a clear goal, you are more prepared to face that fear, because the reward for achieving your goal is much more of a temporary nuisance to fear. The goal in the work to implement this concept is to share Hill with people who have used the power of the goal to achieve great things. These people have never been in the way of waiting for success to come to them. Instead, they set clear goals and took well-studied measures to achieve them. Think of someone like Thomas Edison. Edison did not say only, "I want to invent something great." He had a clear goal, which is creating practical solutions that will change the world. He pushed his goal to work without any obstacles, even in the face of failure, once after once. But because he was focused on his goal, he did not let the successes stop him. He saw every failure as a step closer to success. The point of Hill is clear. When you have a clear goal, successes and challenges become easier to overcome because you always move in a specific direction. Without the intention to feel down because of the temporary failure, because your eyes are on the bigger picture without a clear goal. You're exposed to external harassment and slander, but with a clear and specific goal, you become focused and organized and unable to stop. The goal gives you direction as it protects you from fear and doubt, which helps you to stay on the right path even when the road becomes difficult. Fear is a tool for Satan. Fear is considered maybe one of the strongest tools used by Satan to keep people away from achieving their goals. According to the conversation of Hell in defeating Satan, Satan admits that fear is his most effective weapon to control people's minds. It doesn't matter if the fear is rational or not. As long as the fear is in control, it can prevent you from taking the necessary steps towards success. Fear stops you before you start, which creates mental obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. Satan reveals 6 main fears that imprison people in a middle life. First, fear of poverty. Second, fear of criticism. Third, fear of illness. Fourth, fear of losing love. Fifth, fear of being a sheikh. Sixth, fear of death. Let's analyze these fears to understand how they work and how they harm us. First, fear of poverty. Fear of poverty is the root of many fears in life. It drives people to accept jobs they do not like, relationships that drive them away, and life patterns that seem not satisfying. All this because of their fear of losing financial security. This fear can prevent people from following their true desires because they think that danger may lead to financial destruction. Satan uses this fear to keep people stuck in situations they live in, but do not show up. Second, fear of criticism. Many of us fear what others might think if we fail or if we are different from the crowd. This fear of criticism prevents people from following dreams or ideas, or expressing their opinions or facing challenges that may lead to the judgment of others. Satan feeds on this nonstop, which encourages people to be independent and play safely instead of moving towards their full potential. Third, fear of illness. Fear of illness or suffering can lead to healthy cases of people's body condition, sometimes to the point of not taking any action. Instead of living a complete and healthy life, some people may become paralyzed because of their anxiety about healthy problems that may never happen. Satan uses this fear to distract people from focusing on their goals. 4. Fear of loss of love. The fear of losing love or agreeing to a person is very defensive, which often leads to the introduction of confessions that are not in their interest. This fear can prevent you from making difficult decisions that may improve your life in the face of distress or loss of people around you. Satan uses this fear to keep people in a fierce relationship or in situations where they feel displeased, all because of their fear of losing love. 5. Fear of the instead of seeing the sheikh as an opportunity for wisdom and growth. 6. Fear of death is considered the fear of death worldwide. It can be seen as fear of the unknown or as fear of not living a self-sufficient life. This fear can lead to distortion and hesitation, where people are in a hurry to pursue their dreams because they fear the end of death. Satan uses this fear to make people focus on the end of life, instead of being present and taking advantage of their time. How does fear control you? Hill's conversation with Satan reveals how these fears work together to control individuals. Fear takes over. It prevents action. Satan admits that when people are consumed by fear, they become easy to control because they fear the light ahead, or taking risks, or following their dreams. Think about the number of times fear has prevented you from taking action. Have you ever hesitated to start a new project because you were afraid of failure? Did you avoid making a difficult decision because you were worried about what others would think? The devil's tactic is simple but effective. It honors these fears to the extent that they mislead everything else. When fear is overpowering your thoughts, it becomes impossible to focus on your goals. You start doubting yourself, and you become. The fear of staying in your comfort zone is the safest option, even when it makes your comfort zone miserable. Overcoming fear is not enough to heal your fear, but it also provides a solution. The way to overcome fear is to work in a goal. As long as you have a clear goal, as discussed before, you become more prepared to face your fears because your desire for success exceeds your fear of failure. When you know exactly what you want in life, fear starts to lose control over you. You become more prepared for danger because you have a clear goal in your mind. For example, if you are afraid of poverty, one of the ways to overcome this fear is to focus on creating financial security through serious work and smart decisions. If you are afraid of criticism, you can remind yourself that other people's opinions do not determine your value. The key is to face every fear through the work of the goal, instead of allowing it to determine your decisions. In Overcoming Satan, Hale confirms the importance of admitting your fears, but does not allow them to control you. Everyone feels fear at some point. It is a natural part of human beings, but the difference between those who succeed and those who remain stubborn is how they respond to that fear, or they are ahead of their time. Fear is the most powerful tool of Satan to keep people away from their full potential. But just by admitting to fear for what it is as a tool for control, you can start taking measures to overcome it. The best way to fight fear is through targeted work. When you have a clear and consistent goal to achieve, fear loses its power over you. The importance of self-controlling is one of the deep lessons in defeating Satan. The importance of self-controlling is that, according to what Satan says in his conversation with Hell, self-controlling is one of the few things that make a person more resistant to its influence. The more we are in control, it is now difficult for external forces to direct us away from our path. Satan describes self-control as being the ability to control your thoughts, habits, and actions. The people who are lazy about self-control are the recipients of actions. They allow their defenses, emotions, and immediate desires to determine their behavior. These individuals are easy to play with because they are constantly pursuing short-term pleasures or short-term pleasures or short-term pleasures. They live in the moment without thinking about the consequences for a long time for their actions. How does lack of discipline lead to failure? Hale and Satan discover how lack of discipline is a fundamental cause of many failures in life. People who are poor at self-discipline are forced to hasten important tasks because they cannot overcome when they start something difficult. They become busy and fast. Without the right to be in control, they become a burden to the employees. People who lack self-control are more likely to make confusing decisions that seem good at the moment, but are difficult to achieve. Whether it is a waste of money or eating unhealthy food or overstepping responsibilities, the inability to control actions can lead to a life full of regret. Think about the number of times the lack of self-control led to the failure of people in their personal or professional lives. We all know a person, or we are this person, who has big dreams, but he never follows them because he lacks the discipline to do the hard work in a regular manner. Satan knows this and uses it for his own benefit. The person who lacks self-discipline is easy to. When you control your mind and actions, you are free of the chaos and distractions that usually pull you away from your goals. You can make decisions that go with your long-term vision. Instead of being affected by emotions or temporary circumstances, it gives you the power to focus on what is right and ignore the noise around you. It helps you build habits that lead to success, while also protecting you from the influence of Satan. That self-control does not mean that you cannot enjoy life, but rather it means that you can choose the type of life you want to live and have the control to make decisions that support that life. For example, let's say that we want to be a person who is able to live without self-control, which is easy to overcome, eat unhealthy food, and enter a circle of excuses. But with self-control, this person can overcome the lack of rest as a result of exercise in an order and taking healthy choices until things get difficult. This is a better health, greater confidence, and greater sense of accomplishment, which is more rewarding than much of the momentary enjoyment as a result of a call or eating unhealthy food. Developing self-control does not only focus on the importance of self-control, but also provides practical advice on how to develop it. Here are some of the strategies derived from the book. First, start small. Control, like any other block, needs to be built gradually. If you try to change your whole life in one go, you may feel exhausted. Instead, focus on small goals that are worth investigating. You can achieve them continuously. For example, if you are trying to develop the habit of waking up early, start by setting the alarm for 10 minutes early every day instead of trying to wake up 2 hours early. Second, be consistent. The key to building consistency is consistency. It does not have to be done in a similar way every time, but it has to be done in the appearance and performance of the work day after day. You will become used to building a new nature. Even when the motivation fades, it will help you keep on maintaining your fitness. Third, speed up. One of the best aspects of self-sufficiency is the ability to speed up your fitness. This means choosing long-term rewards over short-term fun. At any moment, ask yourself, does this action coincide with the long-term goals, or is it just a bait? It becomes easier to focus on what is really important. Fourth, make yourself responsible. Whether it is through a friend, a mentor, or a daily diary, the question is necessary to build self-control. It helps to have someone to help you follow your progress and stay honest with your actions. This keeps you focused and reminds you of the goals you set for yourself. That real control starts in the mind. The control of your thoughts before they become actions. If you can control your thoughts, you can control your life. Satan says that the mind that is not controlled is an easy prey, because it allows negative thoughts such as fear, doubt, and control. These thoughts lead to negative habits which lead to failure. People who are disciplined in training their minds focus on positive and productive ideas that do not allow fear or doubt to dominate their thinking. Instead, they exchange these ideas with a clear vision for their goals and a belief that they can achieve them. This mental discipline turns into disciplined actions and leads these actions to success. Self-discipline is the foundation of the human mind, and you make well-planned choices and you follow your goals with concentration and concentration. A clear message from Hill. Attitude is not just a tool for success, but it is your defense against the influence of Satan and your key to a self-governing and free life. The role of failure and patience. One of the most inspiring and encouraging aspects of overcoming Satan is how Hale deals with the concept of failure. In his conversations with Satan, Hale learns that failure is one of Satan's most effective weapons. Failure makes people give up their goals and strengthen the feeling of doubt in themselves. However, Hale reflects this narrative by showing that failure is not the end, but in fact is a step towards success as long as you are patient. Satan admits that most people fear failure to the extent that they do not even try to achieve greatness. Those who try often give up after facing a punishment. In Hill's opinion, the real problem is not failure itself, but the way we respond to it. If we allow failure to destroy our soul, we fall into the trap of Satan. But if we learn from failure and we continue to move forward, becoming stronger and more resilient, failure is a tool for growth. Hale confirms this with a strong point. Failure is a fundamental part of growth. Through failure, we learn what we don't do, and we simplify our strategies and build the necessary resilience to overcome challenges. Every successful person has faced failure, and this is often the case several times. The difference is that they failed to describe them. Instead of this, they used it as a comment and valuable information that helped them make better decisions and try again with more knowledge and experience. Let's take Thomas Edison as an example. Edison is known as the inventor of the electric, which sees failure as an opportunity to learn, is exactly what Hale encourages in overcoming Satan. Satan cannot control a person who sees failure as part of the success process. When you adopt this mentality, failure loses its power over you. Satan's strategy. According to Hale's interview with Satan, one of the main tactics for Satan is to use failure to destroy one's self-confidence. When it fails, Satan is obsessed with the ideas of doubt, fear, and defeat. Satan encourages you to think that you are not good enough, that your dreams are unrealistic, or that you should surrender. At this moment, many people start to be jealous. They abandon their goals because they believe the lie that says that failure means that they are incapable. But Hale argues that this is the moment. The people who succeed in the end are not the ones who never fail, but those who refuse to surrender when they fail and are ready to pay this price. In the book, Hallie encourages readers to develop perseverance through remaining focused on their clear goal and refusal to surrender. Regardless of the number of obstacles they face, perseverance does not mean pushing forward in a blind way without learning. It means, which Hale presents, is that failure is only a real failure if you haven't learned from it. Every failure gives you an opportunity to analyze what happened in a wrong way, make adjustments, and try again in a smarter way. It is important to see failure not as a final judgment, but as part of the journey towards success. When you change your point of view and start seeing failure as a comment, you withdraw from the ability of Satan to use it against you. You become a motivation for the attempt once again, realizing that every attempt brings you closer to success. The power of determination. Hill also points out that determination does not mean repeating the same mistakes in a severe way. Real determination includes determination with circumstances, learning from previous failures, and modifying your strategies. The people who succeed are those who enjoy enough experience to change their approach when necessary, with the remaining people committed to their general goal. For example, if a commercial project fails, the Satan admits that the patient is the biggest challenge for him. He cannot easily affect a person who continues to rise after every fall. The person who is committed to his goal and ready to endure the ups and downs is a person who cannot be controlled by Satan. Therefore, the patient is one of the strongest tools that you can use to overcome Satan. It grants you the power to continue, regardless of the number of times you fail, and learning from failure until it succeeds in the end. Failure is an unremitting thing, but it must not be the end. The way you respond to failure determines whether you will fall under the control of Satan or rise above him. Patience is the key to overcoming Satan by rejecting submission and learning from your failure. It is not possible to stop. Every failure is an opportunity to become stronger and more wise, and more of our lives. Your mental perfection in defeating Satan confirms to us that the biggest battle we face is the one that runs in our minds. The conversation between Hale and Satan reveals that the mind is the battlefield of the main battle for Satan. According to Satan, those who fail to control their minds are an easy prey, while those who perfect their minds become very difficult to play with. By being exposed to mental disorder, doubts, and lack of control. This is because when people are unable to control their thoughts, they become a response to actions and the effect of external forces on them, and more likely to be infected in life. The person who does not control his mind is always under the mercy of fear, doubts, and external circumstances. They interact instead of acting, which makes them a chance to revive the devil. Hill explains that ideas are strong in an unbelievable way. What you think about shapes your feelings and behavior, and in the end, what you achieve in life. If you allow negative, fearful, or self-destructive thoughts to dominate your mind, you will fight to achieve success. These ideas become prophecies that themselves achieve, leading to more fear, doubt, and failure. Satan explains that controlling the mind of a person begins with the cultivation of the seeds of doubt, fear, and indecision. As soon as you are aware of these negative thoughts, you become stronger, which drives the person away from his goals to a life of injury. However, when a person is smart, and when he takes control of his thoughts and focuses on positive thoughts, Satan loses control of his thoughts. Your brain sharpening means being aware of your thoughts and choosing what you focus on. It is easy to forgive negative thoughts with control, especially when things don't go as planned. But Hale confirms the importance of directing your thoughts to your goals, positive results, and actions that you need to take to achieve success. This is not just about positive thinking in a superficial way. Hale talks about deep mental control and ability to control your inner dialogue and maintain a strong, focused mind even when things get difficult. This means that instead of allowing fear or doubting your thoughts, you choose to focus on the points of your power, your goal, and your vision for success. The effect of Satan on the mind. The main tactic of Satan is to influence your thoughts without you realizing it. He uses hidden and often unconscious ways to enter negative beliefs and ideas into your mind. For example, when you face a difficult challenge, you are not good enough. Or this is very difficult, you must surrender. But Hale confirms that these ideas do not have the power on you unless you allow them to do so. The key to perfecting your mind is to identify these negative ideas as truth, like delusions and lies. The key to perfecting your mind is to identify these negative ideas as truth, like delusions and lies. The key to perfecting your mind is to identify these negative ideas as truth, like delusions and lies. The key to perfecting your mind is to identify these negative ideas as truth, like delusions and lies. The key to perfecting your mind is to identify these negative ideas as truth, like delusions and lies. The key to perfecting your mind is to identify these negative ideas as truth, like and replace them with ideas that match your goals and your real abilities. The role of faith. Faith plays a crucial role in improving your mind. Hale explains that what you believe in about yourself and your abilities has a deep impact on what you can achieve. If you believe that you can, you will act with confidence and persistence until things become difficult. But if you believe that you're destined to fail, you will repeat and delay. And in the end, you will fail. One of the most effective strategies of Satan is to weaken your faith in yourself. This is done by overwhelming your fears and doubts, which makes you doubt your worth, your abilities, and your chances of success. But once you understand that these negative ideas are not facts, but are just a way for Satan to control you, you can start to free yourself. Hill suggests that building a strong belief in yourself is like building a mental fortress. You need to protect your mind from negative influences and strengthen your belief in your abilities. And remind yourself to keep your strength up and focus on what you want to achieve instead of what may go wrong. Intellectual compression. Hale and Satan agree on one thing. Intellectual compression is a decisive factor for success. Satan admits that people who enjoy intellectual compression and who can control their thoughts and emotions are very difficult to play with. Intellectual compression allows you to stay focused on your goals even when facing challenges or challenges. Think of mental stability as a muscle that needs to be maintained. Every time you choose to focus on positive and productive ideas, instead of allowing negative ideas to control you, you strengthen that muscle. As time goes by, this stability becomes a new nature. You learn to get to know quickly when negative ideas are lost, and you become more focused on refocusing on something else. Hell offers practical ways to build this mental stability. One of the most important is to develop a self-concentration routine. By implementing a self-contained system, you can evaluate your thoughts in accordance with your goals, or if they affect fear, doubt, or other negative forces. This practice of self-awareness helps you in maintaining control over your mind, instead of allowing your mind to control you. Your mind is the basis for success. In the end, Hill's message is that your mind is the basis for which all success is built. If you don't control your mind, nothing else matters. You can have the best plans, the greatest opportunities, and the most environment support. But if your mind is full of doubt and negativity, you will fight for success. On the other hand, if you perfect your mind, you can face challenges with confidence and learn from failure without being defeated, and staying focused on your long-term goals despite hardships and obstacles. Your mental perfection is the most important step in achieving success. The greatest weapon for Satan is his ability to influence your thoughts. But just by taking control of your mind and practicing mental discipline, you become more effective against his tactics. By focusing on positive thoughts directed towards goals and keeping a strong belief in your abilities, you can overcome any obstacle and achieve your full potential. The environment's impact. In overcoming Satan, Hill doesn't only focus on the internal factors such as fear and constriction, but also shows the important role that our environment plays in shaping our ideas and behaviors, and ultimately, our success. Satan reveals that one of his main strategies to control people is through playing with the environment they live in, whether it is people who spend time with them, or the media you consume, or the physical places you are in. Your surroundings have a strong impact on your mind and actions. Satan admits that he uses the environment to influence people in an unnoticed way, by surrounding individuals with negative influences, whether that be through fierce relationships or lack of positive patterns. Satan can direct them towards a giraffe, which makes them easier to control. The power of negative influences. One of the most dangerous aspects in the environment is that it's often what affects us unconsciously. Hill and Satan discuss how the company we preserve and the media we consume can affect us, and even the general atmosphere around us on our thoughts and behaviors indirectly. Satan admits that he uses this for his own good, where people are placed in environments where there is negativity. Fear and doubt is the basis. As time goes by, these negative influences can be leaked into the mind of the person, making him feel depressed, less conservative, and less confident in his ability to succeed. For example, if you are surrounded by people who are addicted, who are worried about life, or do not believe in self-improvement, their positions in influence on you can begin. Even if you are a positive person, spending time in a negative environment can make it difficult to keep your focus on your goals. For example, it can cause the destruction of media, means that focus on fear, conflicts, or superficial success to distract attention and anxiety, which makes you away from your specific goal. The role of relationships. One of the strongest sides of our environment is the people we surround ourselves with. In Overcoming Satan, Hill discusses how Satan plays with people through their relationships. He reveals that the evil or non-evil relationships are one of the easiest ways to keep people away from success. If you're surrounded by people who do not believe in your dreams or criticize you continuously, or look at life in a negative way, it becomes very difficult to stay excited and focused. Hill confirms the importance of surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people. Those who raise you from your responsibilities, encourage you to grow, and believe in your abilities. These are the people who challenge you to be better and carry the responsibility towards your goals and encourage you to continue when times are difficult. Satan admits that when the environment of a person is full of people like these, it becomes very difficult to control them. And a sense of purpose, cultural, and media influences. In addition to personal relationships, Satan reveals that he uses media and culture to control people's minds. In modern times, this is more important. The continuous information we are exposed to consists of media, social media, movies, and television, how we see the world, and what we think is possible. Hill points out that many media means to pay close attention and to keep your attention often through focusing on fear, drama, and conflicts. the more you spend time consuming negative or superficial content, a failure. Satan is famous for this failure because it prevents people from focusing on their lives and goals, and the continuous cycles of news have become easier than ever before to be covered in this cycle of, look at the people you spend most of your time with. Do they support your goals and growth? Or do they bring negative and doubt into your life? Start by surrounding yourself with people who inspire you and challenge you to be better. This may mean avoiding the intense relationships, even if that is difficult. Second, organize your media consumption. Be aware of the information you consume daily. Reduce your exposure to negative news, and make your space easier to focus and reduce the number of objects you can see. Fourth, search for examples to be used by teachers. One of the strongest ways to face the effect of Satan is to find positive examples and teachers who achieve what you want to achieve. These teachers can provide advice and inspiration when you need them. Satan's weakness is in a positive environment. Satan admits that his influence is weakened by when people are in a positive environment. This is because positive influences help you to strengthen your will, build your confidence in yourself, and stay focused on your specific goal. When your environment supports your growth, you lose the tools of Satan, such as fear, doubt, and the power of its influence. You become more difficult to control because you are surrounded by people, media, and places that raise your meaning and inspire you. It is necessary to take control of your environment and surround yourself with positive and supportive influences. You must feed your environment with your growth, not with your loss. With our approach to the end of the devil's conquest, it is clear that our message to Napoleon Hill is beyond the simple strategies of success. The book is a deep discovery of the forces that shape our lives, whether it is internal conflicts in our minds or external influences in our environment. The conversation between Hale and Satan revolves around fears, hesitation, and the lack of a goal and the lack of experience. These are the tools that Satan uses to control us, but Hale also shows us how to free ourselves. Satan admits that he is weak in front of people who have clarity, discipline, and a goal. Hale's goal is to help us understand that, while Satan may represent external forces, the real battle takes place inside our minds. It is a battle between fear and courage, and the summary of the main lessons of the book. First, fear is the greatest weapon of Satan. Fear takes us away and prevents us from advancing, whether it is fear of failure or fear of criticism or fear of the unknown. These are the tools used by Satan to keep us away from our full potential. But as Hill shows, fear has no power unless we allow it. By introducing fear as a trick to stop us, we can go beyond it and take steps towards our goals. Secondly, the giraffe is a silent killer of dreams. The giraffe is one of the most dangerous habits because it happens without us realizing it. It is a state of living without a goal and without direction, and leaving life that happens to us instead of taking control. The giraffe makes us a target to influence Satan because we become a response to actions. We live from one day to the next without a clear goal, without a specific goal, and a clear vision of what we want to achieve in life. Third, self-control is the basis of success. Without control, even the best plans will fail. Control is what keeps you on track when excitement is lost, when challenges appear, and when fear is released. It is the ability to control your thoughts, actions, and emotions in your efforts towards your goals. Satan admits that people who enjoy self-control because they have the mental power to stay focused, even when things get difficult. Fourth, patience is the key to overcoming failure. Failure is inevitable, but it must not be final. Does it confirm that the real test is how we respond to failure? The devil uses failure to plant seeds of doubt and fear in the hope that we surrender to our dreams. But those who are patient, those who continue despite the failures, they are the ones who succeed in the end. Patience is the ability to learn from failure and to be more determined in trying again. Fifth, your environment forms your success. One of the most accurate strategies of Satan is to use your environment to influence your thoughts and actions. Whether that was through negative relationships, surrounding ourselves with positive influences, people who raise our meanings, media that inspire us, and places that enhance focus and productivity. Sixth, the battle in your mind. In the end, the main battlefield for Satan is your mind. If you don't control your thoughts, Satan will control you. The perfection of your mind is the most important step to achieving success. That means being aware of what you focus on and to replace negative thoughts with positive and targeted thoughts and to build a strong belief in your ability to succeed. The devil cannot control a mind that is in control, focused on the goal. A call for action. In its essence, overcoming the devil is a call for action. It is a reminder that we all have the ability to control our lives, but we must be aware of the inner and external forces that try to keep us away from the road. The devil represents every negative effect that tries to stop us. But the message of Hale is clear. This power has no power unless we grant it to it. By developing self-control, planting patience, and surrounding ourselves with positive effects, and staying focused on a clear goal, we can overcome the devil and create the life we really want. The vision of Hale forever provides us with a plan for success. You will act today as you did when you wrote the book. Steps of action. Now you have the tools to overcome these negative influences and control your mind, environment, and future. Remember that the key to success is to improve your mind and to stay in control and never give up. What are the steps you will take today to start overcoming your personal devil? Thank you for joining us in these discoveries. If you found value in this summary, make sure to subscribe to get more audiobooks that can help you open your abilities.